The Extraordinary SADC Summit took place in Harare in Zimbabwe. The meeting aimed to discuss the crisis in the Eastern DRC. And for more on this, we're now joined by SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, thank you so much for your time this evening. Now, of course, we do understand that the SADC Summit took place today, discussing the developments coming out from the DRC. What is the latest update coming out from that meeting?
The meeting has condemned what happened in the DRC, where the SADC forces or troops that are deployed in the eastern part of the DRC were attacked. And also an important decision is that they have taken a decision to send ministers of defense and some military personnel, the hierarchy, to that area to speak to stakeholders there to ensure that you are able to repatriate those soldiers who died during that fierce fighting, and also to be able to bring the soldiers who are injured to South Africa, particularly those that are from South Africa, for treatment. But also to ensure that you negotiate with all role players, including the non-state forces that are there. I think they are talking about the different groups that are operating in the DRC, including other neighboring countries, to find a way that there's a ceasefire and the talks do resume, and following the Luanda process and also Nairobi process. Luanda process, you know, that is a process led by the president of Angola, where he had at some point in time been able to bring together important stakeholders. But in December last year, the two main leaders, that is President Felix Tshisekedi and President Paul Kagame, couldn't sign that agreement because President Kagame had reservations and he didn't pitch. But for me, Mbali, what is quite glaring is that you are talking about the Luanda process, but the president of Angola was not there. You have the president of Namibia who was not there. The president of the DRC, he was not there. Maybe for him it was an issue of security and what's happening in his country. So you can see that the president of Zambia was not there. You can see that SADC at this moment is also going through its own challenges in terms of unity and cohesion. But there's a statement that has been issued, a communique talking about all those issues. And I think no words in relation to mentioning Rwanda. And secondly, what is important, they have agreed to a call by the East African Community bloc. You know, they had a meeting on the eve of the next day where President Kagame issued that statement, harsh statement against South Africa. Remember, the East Community leaders agreed that there should be a meeting between SADC and the bloc. You'd recall even on X, the president of Uganda is a senior in the region, but also on the continent with experience, also emphasized that on his X account that there must be a meeting between East Africa and SADC. So when I look at the communique, you can see that what people expected in terms of SADC taking a harsh stance against the M23, but also Rwanda in particular, because of the criticism the whole week that Rwanda is fueling what is currently happening in the DRC. I think for the DRC, the Kinshasa government, it's not what they would have wanted in terms of the statement, but the call for talks, perhaps it's something that Kinshasa would want. But the issue is where they are calling for talks in relation to all stakeholders. And lastly, during the opening remarks, I heard the president of Zimbabwe, Mnangagwa, emphasizing a need to ensure that the people of the eastern part of the DRC live in peace. And you know that the argument from M23, as we spoke to them earlier on, you had the spokesperson saying, we, the M23, are the people of the eastern part of the DRC. Yes, we take up arms because we want to be free, we want to enjoy our country. This is a struggle for the people of the eastern part of the DRC who are all over the neighboring countries where they have fled, and they are the refugees.
All right, Sophie.
So I think it's for me, that's what I'm able to see in terms of this statement.
Okay, Sophie, then thank you so much for that very important update. That's SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena. They're just giving us the latest update when it comes to what is taking place in that SADC Summit, where, of course, the issue around the Eastern DRC was discussed, and saying there, our editor, Sophie Mokoena, saying they have condemned what has taken place.